Now, am I crazy, or does Moonfall feel like the 10th draft to Independence Day Resurgence? What's up, everyone? I'm Jaren, and today we are talking about Moonfall. The movie is co-written and directed by Roland Emmerich, the mastermind behind disaster films. Not necessarily Michael Bay, where he explodes and crashes cars. I'm talking about he destroys buildings, monuments, the whole world, all that kind of shit. He's very well known for movies like Universal Soldier, The Day After Tomorrow, 2012, Godzilla 1998, Independence Day, and many more. The movie stars Halle Berry, Patrick Wilson, John Bradley, Charlie Plummer, Wen Yu, and Michael Pena, as we follow a mysterious force that knocks the moon out of orbit around the Earth and sends it hurtling on a collision course with life as we know it. Now, ever since 2012, I've been very picky when it came to Roland Emmerich movies. Not that I expected a great, intelligent type of action disaster film, but I feel like the guy really just chooses the wow factor of his visual effects over storytelling and characters. Don't get me wrong, I could get behind White House Down and maybe Midway, but Independence Day 2, man, that's just a steaming pile of dog shit. Now, when I first saw the trailer for this, I was kind of on board. Like, I knew the movie was going to be slightly silly, slightly ridiculous, but very entertaining. And so I kind of knew what I wanted to get into. But then once I heard that the movie just tanked, especially with the critics, I avoided seeing it in theaters, and I slightly regret that. I finally got to check it out on Redbox, and I gotta say, it is not as bad as what the critics have said. A little more of an improvement, if I might add, but it's not that good. Now, in comparison to 2012, this movie actually tried, and I very much appreciate that. I do feel that a lot of the narrative with characters were very weak, although the movie does try to take itself seriously when it comes to a lot of the interstellar, galactic kind of jargon talk. Now, I do have to admit, I love all the big action-scaled sequences involving, like, the moon, the comets, like, coming down and crashing into Earth, as well as, like, them messing with the gravity, and even that nanotech entity that comes after them. It's nothing new if you're very familiar with Roland Emmerich's other projects, but I almost wish the movie was long enough to get more of it, because the first hour does feel like it takes a while to kind of get the ball rolling. The narrative does attempt for you to actually care about these characters on an emotional level and sympathetically, but there's just so much going on, especially with a lot of the arcs and a lot of the events that we end up swapping in and out of the story, that even by the time they get put into peril or somebody actually dies, I didn't feel it. I didn't feel that these characters were in any sort of danger. Or maybe I didn't care enough because of how predictable it felt. Come on, the main character who's the father, who's just down on his luck in life and just has to deal with his estranged son and has to save him. Does that sound familiar? Friggin' Day After Tomorrow, Independence Day, 2012, that's all in there. Now, John Bradley from Game of Thrones, he ended up turning out to be a surprise, because when I saw the second trailer, I thought he was going to be overbearingly annoying, but he was kind of like the right amount of comedy. He kind of balanced out a lot of the seriousness that was going on, and he added some heart in there. I definitely respect the guy. Some of the science talk made me laugh, but my God, there's that gravity wall of water. Like, I wanted more of that. I know we usually see a lot of Emmerich's movies where he's just crashing a big tidal wave into the city and just crushing things, but to see a wall of water just swallow and go up into the sky, that that was something else. Like, we've seen it before, but very fun to watch. I thought the reveal was interesting, but it was such a big exposition drop. I just felt like we've heard this story said and done so many times with other intergalactic sci-fi films, and I was just like, man, now that just made the rest of the movie feel so generic. And then they do the same exact thing with Independence Day 2, where they set it up for a sequel. I'm like, you didn't have to. Sure, the movie could just end right there and we don't need some kind of explanation, but it feels like a setup for a Moonfall 2. I don't care. I really don't. All in all, the movie wasn't as ridiculously cringing as 2012 was. Thank goodness for that. I found myself entertained, I had fun with it, but at the end of the day, in compared to a lot of Emmerich's earlier work, it is inferior. It is not that great, but it's not bad either. Alright guys, that's all I got for you today. Thank you guys so much for watching. I'm Jaren Ugbanawag. Look forward to more reviews, and I will see you guys at the movies. Take care.